Marsupilami. Those of you who are unaware or who Marsupilami is, pretty much forgotten he was a thing. Marsupilami was released in 1993 with only 13 episodes, but re-released it in the early 2000s, since in 2009, and Marsupilami is what he is. A strange yellow creature with a long tail, and does pretty much everything. In the Disney cartoon, he can actually talk, but when it was rebooted in the early 2000s and 2009, and Marsupilami, he teamed up with a monkey gorilla named Maurice, who's not all that bright and smart, and they end up in weird adventures. Nervous elephant, and the main bad guy named Morton, who's also voiced by Jim Cummings, kind of a poacher that chases Marsupilami all the time, almost all the time, while the series, and make a few cameo appearances in Disney's Bonkers. There's other references he appears in, especially in Raw Tunage. He's on VHS tapes as well. Yes, the Marsupilami itself not only appeared for the first time in Disney history in the mid-90s, there's a little bit of backstory that Marsupilami himself actually first appeared in the comics in the 1960s next to Spread of comics, our French people. There's lots of interesting comic books about the Marsupilami or his young kids. His catchphrase is Hoopa Hub. In the original Disney cartoon, he likes to eat fruit, but the rebooted of Marsupilami 2009 cartoon, and only had I would say 2 seasons, or 3 seasons, where he teams up with an ordinary boy named Hector, with his auntie, and a bunch of bad guys, including the evil rich lady, want to own the land and everything else. Also has I would say granddaughter, or that Hector's in love with. And Marsupilami was a huge hit. And Marsupilami also has a wife and children, which makes sense. In the live-action movie, and nobody knows existed, it's kind of a shame that live-action movies are not a good idea. First time I ever saw the Marsupilami, or what's called Uba Hop, came out a long time ago when I first saw it in 2014, and I did not know it existed. I would say it would be owned by Disney, but it's done by a different company. And Marsupilami himself was famous back then with amazing comic book strips and amazing merchandises of toys, and amazing creatures of Marsupilami. It's kind of unfortunate that Marsupilami was forgotten for nearly 10 years later, and due to the video game, and we know to the very day that everybody talks about, and now it's long forgotten. You already saw me play the video game of it on the PS4. It's on the Switch, Xbox One, and even the PC. Not much else to say about Marsupilami. And that And the Marsupilami himself is the most rarest creature of them all. And somehow, in the comic book, they hatch out in an egg instead of, well, you know what. But like the strangest thing I ever did see is how the Marsupilami is born. It's a fun fact that the same creator that did Marsupilami also did the Smurfs. It's because it's done by French people. So, in other words, it's an impressive history time of Marsupilami being the most great first shows of all time that have been redone a few more times. And I gotta say, I love them all. I love every bit of the Marsupilami's history time. Its comic relief and amazing merchandises all around it is worth seeing in the old Disney one, in the early 2000s and 2009, the Marsupilami shows of all time. Thank you all for listening to my review of the Marsupilami's Backstory History Time.